And we're back. Game number 2 of our second best of 3 of the day. Alliance taking on Team Liquid. And, well, Alliance put the fastest win, second fastest win, I should say, so far in D2L Season 4 on Team Liquid in Game 1. Just flat out running them over with a very early to mid-game magic damage push-centric lineup. And Liquid taking a page in their book says, that's fine. We're going to fight early this time. Going to grab a bounty hunter and a crystal main that likes to get active early. Alliance, though, going to once again snag Nature's Prophet for Admiral Bulldog and a very stable support in Venomancer. To break down the draft as it continues on, welcome in once again Ben Merlini Wu. And Ben, I mean, Alliance is good. They're all right at Dota. I think this is pretty well established, and Liquid got a first-hand lesson in Game 1, man.
Yeah, that was a very, very rough lesson, and it's not like Team Liquid's draft was that bad that it could just completely be taken advantage of, and they just have to not give up an early game lead because Alliance wins one fight and they just run away with the game. So Team Liquid looking to get an even earlier game advantage, drafting a Crystal Maiden for themselves. I think that's a very good pickup. Fluff on the Enchanter is not as effective as he usually was. Puck really hard to gank in middle. Nature's Prophet, you can gank, but you really have to keep down like the Pugna, I think, is a very keystone hero for their lineup. And see him just better at that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was thinking about it during the break, and we've seen Alliance, this is their 4th match. They come into this match standing at 3-0, and if they're able to continue with their momentum, likely to improve to 4-0 unless Liquid can really get things back on track fast here in Game 2. What is it that's really making them so good? And it's not just that they're winning. I mean, yes, they got pushed to 3 by Fnatic, and they actually got pushed to 3 by Virtus Pro. But when we see Alliance win their games, it's usually pretty one-sided. Like, we haven't seen a whole lot of down-to-the-wire games. Some of them have taken, 30, 40 minutes to complete. But a lot of that is chalked up to just playing safe when Alliance has already built a 5-digit gold lead by 25, 30 minutes in. And I'll tell you, and we saw it really on display in Game 1. They're able to come into situations where you look at it and go, well, if they break even here, it would be okay. For example, when they went 4-on-5 at bottom, I mean, they just flat out took that fight while Loda did nothing but sit top, farm, and push. And everyone from Liquid at some point rotated down there. They took 6 kills from Liquid in a matter of about 90 seconds because of that. And that's with the respawn timers being very, very short. And the tier 1 was up, so they certainly had TP support coming in. Alliance is just so disciplined, and that entire fight, that's what stood out, and I mentioned it during the game, is they just felt very slow and deliberate. They didn't feel like they were trying to rush the tower. They didn't feel like they were overzealous. There was almost no overlapping of abilities. If they had a stun or a slow, it was always chained together correctly. They can come into these situations where if they even break even, they're usually going to be in good shape. And they're just so well coordinated. They have so much discipline and are so very deliberate in everything that they do in those situations. They're able to walk away, not just with a break even, but with a win. And then you combine that with the fact that Loda was pushing top, the tier 1 dropped at that in that lane as well. So a situation where maybe they would have come out 1,000 gold ahead. Instead, they take 2 towers, they kill 6 heroes in exchange for 1, and that 1,000 gold lead that most teams might have been able to generate in that situation turns into a 4,000 gold lead.
They're just really good at positioning too. Like rarely will you see more than one person get hit by a Nyx assassin. They're just always well prepared. Nothing really catches them by surprise.
Right.
They can kind of feel out where Nyx assassin is moving, where he's going to go, where the other team's going to be, how many people are they going to commit to X, and they just commit better or more, or they're just there at the right place at the right time. And the couple of seconds timing difference on a support is really all the difference. And it's very difficult to like point out like mistakes for like sometimes it's more obvious, like, well, this guy got roared and Shadow Demon wasn't there to disrupt, so he died. But like for someone like Crystal Maiden or like Visage, it's very, very fickle as to how you can judge them. But Alliance just always there at the right time. Their supports are always helping each other out, not getting caught out too. Like when Admiral Bulldog died on bottom, their team got so much out of it, and they just rarely get picked off, cut out of position. They're always in formation, always knowing what to do together as a team.
And Alliance adding in the Batrider, so most likely will be an S4 Bat. And this is kind of just an all-around draft for them. They're going to have the initiation. A single target from Bat. Venomancer, of course, gives them a nice mix of AoE-centric damage in every phase of the game. They're also going to have a fair amount of push. Gyrocopter can push very early with the strength of Flat Cannon and Rocket Barrage in conjunction with Nature's Prophet, as we very well established how well he pushes. But as we've discovered, 6.79, Venomancer's buffed Plague Wards actually makes him quite a solid pusher as well, and not necessarily a wipe a tower out, wipe down a creep wave in a matter of seconds kind of a pusher, but in a slow pusher. How many times have we seen Venomancer, say for example, go mid or be rotated mid, and he just slowly starts to lay his Plague Wards down, slowly starts to build up a pile of them, and over time, 2 minutes later, the tier 1 goes from 100% to 0. So the push on Team Liquid is going to be okay as well. They're going to have some split push on the side of Weaver. Dragon Knight, of course, once he gets his Elder Dragon form up, can bring down towers with alarming speed. And Team Liquid's draft, I think, is just much more well-rounded and thought out this time. I think we were both not really big fans of what they put together in Game 1, and Alliance definitely took advantage of it. This time around, nice mix of magic and early to late game scalability, good range on the clockwork, etc.
And looks like they will opt for a Batrider for S4, so that's pretty scary as is. I'm actually surprised that Alliance took Venomancer over Crystal Maiden. They really do like Crystal Maiden, and they also could have taken a Chen if they had wanted to, but Vino seem very flexible with their supports. Last game it was CM and Visage. We see Aki run Chen a lot of the time, and Venomancer first pick when they have those other supports in the pool too is just, shows how flexible they are. But they will always grab Nature's Prophet in the first round if they want to, if they can rather.
Seeing Lotus snag the Mirana, I'm pretty sure that means we're going to see a support Gyrocopter. That's a throwback. I remember when they were doing this in D2L Season 2 to great effect. Most likely going to be S4 on the mid-bat with Prophet run by Admiral Bulldog. There's Bulldog taking his hero. And yeah, I like support Gyro. It kind of fell out of vogue. I mean, it does only have its limited uses. But Gyro does bring to the table some pretty important things with just a handful of levels. Rocket Barrage, even at just level 2 or 3, if you can isolate it on a single target, is an absolute massive amount of damage. And if you're able to max it out and get it on a single target, you're talking 690 magic damage he can put on one hero so long as you're in the right position. The call down as well. Call down, just so long as he gets level 6. Level 1 call down is solid. Obviously, just like anything else, it gets better with the more levels you put into it. But you can ride level 1 call down quite easily as an effective spell on into the mid-game phase, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, etc. Loda farming the Mirana, mixed feelings about that. You and I have talked extensively about that. Hard farming Miranas, they just seem to really rarely hit the peak you want them to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm sure we'll probably see more mileage out of that than a lot of the carry Miranas that we've seen. And Liquid's lineup, yeah, the only thing I don't really like is the Dragon Knight pickup. I think it's a little bit too mid gamey. I think they need more early game, like a Puck or something like that. Other than that, I think Liquid's draft is pretty good. Alliance, yeah, pretty solid too. Support Gyrocopter is kind of meh-ish, I think. He's very short range, especially versus you don't really want to be close range versus Dragon Knight, although the magic damage is nice when he has that much armor. Weaver will just kite you around. Clockwork will just cog you too. So I think there are better options. Maybe they're just trying to see if it works out again. This is a time to experiment for them in the second game of a best of 3 that they took a very convincing game 1 off of, and that is some things that the better teams like to do. They're well, we're already pretty comfortable with our league. We'll see if this works out and try and improve our other strategies.
Yeah, and again, this isn't something that's brand new to them. They used to do this quite a lot. Mm-hmm. I remember, again, way back when Gyrocopter got buffed and past patch, again, this has been earlier this year, going back all the way to, might have been spring, was it? No, it had to be even earlier than that, I think. After a while, it all kinds of starts to run together. But yeah, there was a time when they used to run support Gyrocopter in D2L probably 50% of the time. If he was available, you'd see him drafted for Ake. So just going back to something they were once comfortable with. Horn blows, and we'll run through our lineups on both sides as the lanes take shape. Going to have S4 on the bat and mid as predicted. Ake, as previously mentioned, will be on the support Gyrocopter. Mirana going to be farmed up by Loda. The Venomancer going to be handled by EGM. And the Nature's Prophet, no surprise whatsoever to see him played by Admiral Bulldog for the second game in a row. The other side of the river this time, Fluff trying to bounce back from a lackluster performance on Enchantress in Game 1. He'll be handling the Bounty Hunter. He'll want to get active early. Koikva going to be running the Dragon Knight mid with Weaver farmed by TC. He's up in the safe lane. Bulba on Clockwork, one of his signature heroes. I would argue his signature hero, period. Absolutely love to watch Bulba on this clock. And hold on, at the top, TC Going to be chased back. They had 3 up there rotating up. EGM nowhere near in position to land a Gale, though. So anyway, Bulba on this Clockwork is a real treat to watch. He just is such a cerebral player on the hero. And listening to him talk, I can remember I did a brief on-air interview with him in one of the D2L seasons, I should say. And Fluff will be spotted out by EGM here. Yeah, they're going to dust him. He's in trouble. He's Galed, and Ake's right on his tail. He's got his first point in a rocket barrage. Going to chase him down, and let's see if they can catch him. There's the damage. Just look at that. That's level 1 rocket barrage, that much damage. The arrow from Miranda came up short. They're going to try to chase him, but another sentry goes down. That might be a waste. Yep, rocket barrage, not enough to catch up with him as the dust was on cooldown from EGM. But down at bottom, we can see Bulldog already under pressure. Anyway, Bulba's good at clock. That's what I was trying to get out, and I'll speak more on it another time.
Not gonna happen.
And we can see Fluff coming back on up, surrounding EGM. There are 2 heroes in mid as well from Liquid. And, yep, Fluff still soaking no experience. He's only got 40 experience points right now.
They wasted 290 gold trying to kill him, though, and now they've left TC. Like, they were zoning him out. Aki just standing here, and then TC trying to soak up experience in this little nook that he created. But now, the early game not going quite as well for Alliance as expected. If they were closer together to Gyrocopter and the Venomancer, they would have easily been able to kill Bounty Hunter in that dust duration. But Gyrocopter just a little bit further away because he was trying to kill TC.
TC able to Shikuchi back to safety despite the Sentry Ward. No problem there. We can see
Admiral Bulldog, like they may engage on him here.
Fluff just level 1. And there you go. Shows himself off. And going to be trading a little bit of paint. Not a whole lot more. Bulba is level 4. And Bulba has spoken to me extensively about this matchup in particular. Clock versus a Nature's Prophet in a one-on-one situation. He feels confident that basically if the Prophet doesn't play extremely well, a Clockwork at level 3 and 4 should be able to kill pretty much any Nature's Prophet, especially if he doesn't have phase boots up. And as we can see, Bulldog doesn't. Fluff's actually doing a lot of damage already. Doesn't have a point in the shuriken. If he did, that would have been first blood.
Yep, forced TP home already, and that must be very annoying for Admiral Bulldog. But at the same time, TC is having a relatively rough time on top too. S4, doesn't matter, there's 2 people middle. He has a haste rune in his bottle, feels perfectly okay with that, and that should probably secure the 4-minute rune for him too. Koikva, well, we see like a little bit of lane reversal, right? Koikva going to solo mid, Bulba usually on the solo off lane, or usually on the solo mid rather, has gone back to his roots as the off laner. Fluff, still trying to get some levels. Way 2 is just soaking up the XP that Admiral Bulldog is providing for him.
Way 2 at level 2.5, not too bad. He'll be able to start.
Oh, they might go on him here.
And here we go. Bulldog catches the Janata. He's going to trade a little bit of right-clicking. And way 2 tardy to the party. Bulldog's going to be able to go back. Probably should have waited for him to rotate around before engaging there. Might have been able to get a kill if they'd have had Frostbite and Nova to lock him down.
Yep, phase boot's already up on Clog too, so I think they can pretty much just leave him alone, and Admiral Bulldog's gonna be in for a very, very rough ride. Aki and EGM circling behind tower. Oh, no.
Yep.
Admiral Bulldog's like, screw this, let's just push.
Yep, there's going to be a Gale on the TC. He's dusted out. Ake right on his tail. He's going to have Shikuchi back up in 6 seconds. Can they catch up with him? Ake with no boots, very slow. He had 545 gold. He could have bought it. Here comes S4. That's going to be first blood. And a first blood that they're happy to have. Bringing down a Weaver, shutting him down this early. They're going to be able to push off of that quite easily with Bulldog up here. Deja vu all over again, my friend. Come out firing, collapse on a lane, and take an early tower.
I think that TC shouldn't have run this way. Like, he was caught out, like, right here. If he goes over here with his Shikuchi and then hides in this fog, he doesn't get hit by the rocket barrage, and he doesn't run into the other Alliance teammates. I can understand why he wanted to move left, because he wanted to try and fog along the tree line as much as possible, but there were pretty much Alliance's entire team right there. So first, easy tower goes to Alliance, and that's the thing about Nature's Prophet. Oh, you're having a bad time in that lane, just go push a tower somewhere else. No problem. And the other heroes are just left in your wake trying to catch up to you.
A Liquid, down but not out. They are going to have a lot riding on the shoulders of Fluff and Bulba, though. Bulba almost level 6. They're going to want to get some good play out of him. But, again, Bulba, one of the best clock players in all of the West, and really a guy who can make things happen. He's going to have Fluff to help him out. But Fluff needs level 6 first. This slow start from the bounty is really problematic. We've seen that in action once already today. If you have a bounty hunter, you really can't delay his level 6 too long. Otherwise, the hero's efficacy just begins to bottom out.
Yeah, they have a lot of wards on the bottom half of the map, but nothing's really happening there. It's just Admiral Bulldog sitting in lane and trying to play defensive while the supports try and kill him. So they don't really need the wards out over here. I would prefer maybe to like have a ward in mid, see if S4 is gonna try and grab Koikwa, because look at Koikwa's position. He's like so scared. He can't even come up to kill creeps right now.
Bulldog forced back. That's gonna be a 2-hero response. Fluff can't chase him out. Moonlight Shadow has come on. Way2's going to head for the side shop while Bulba makes for the back way, and Way2 going to go ahead and TP out. This is the proper call to make. S4, yep, pinging it out. He knows that he's around, has no dust, though, and just trying to guess where he thinks he went. But Bulldog able to survive there, cost a couple of rotations, but really I don't think they're going to mind that. Loda's doing so well at top. He's not losing out. He's level 6.5.
With his Midas.
Yep, exactly. Now, this is a situation where I don't mind a Midas. You take a tower that early, you can get it up. It's not like he rushed it super duper fast. He at least had up a Bassi and boots first. Anyway, make it worthwhile, Loda. Don't make me hate you. Please don't.
Meh, Midas.
Meh.
Anytime before the hour mark is perfectly acceptable.
Before the hour. Get up the casual 20-minute Midas. Casual 20-minute Midas. Koikva. Here in mid, haven't heard a lot of noise out of him. He is level 6, though. Has his bottle up. Has enough for his treads if he wants to go treads first. Ake's making his way up. He's level 3. He's going to drop a sentry out. Bulldog's right there with him, and they might look to make something happen in mid next.
Yeah, I think Alliance is just waiting for the Midas to kick in, B, S4's Midas, and C, the level 6 on Aki or Venomancer. And then once that starts happening, they can start applying a lot of pressure. They already have a pretty sizable gold advantage, 3,000, even with only one tower right now. I think that Liquid is going to need a lot of mileage out of Bulba. They need level 6 on Bounty Hunter, so if they do exchange, they can get some track kills. But this Dragon Knight is kind of like a dead pick right now. He can't really do that much. He can't rotate. He can't really free farm in middle. They can't really kill S4, and it's just, I don't know. It's too passive a hero for my liking.
Oh,
TC getting
TC.
a lot of pressure on top. They don't have any dust though.
Oh, that's a shame. The max level Starstorm, by the way, just nuked TC from 100 basically to 25% in conjunction with a couple of auto attacks. Like, he's just so far behind. And, you know, I do want to point out, by the way, you did say they were waiting on S4's Midas. And if S4 built a Midas before Blink, I might tear my hair out. But anyway, speaking of dead picks, though, I think that's kind of what we're looking at with Weaver and Dragon Knight. I mean, DK and Weaver both can be extremely high value in early stages if they get ahead. And they're not, like, doing terrible. They're just not really – they're right on par, maybe a little bit behind. And against this lineup of Alliance is doing just fine. I mean, Loda's really far ahead. EGM coming up on level 4
There's the
now.
haste with the smoke Batrider with Blink. That is just so freaking scary.
Koikva drug back, going to be eating the rocket barrage. And Flame breaks right there, followed up with a Nova. He's going to try to burn him down. There's a Frostbite on the Way2. Arrow does connect on Way2, though. That's going to be 2-0. Koikva's going to pop ulti. Go ahead and use a Dragon Tail on Loda. Bulba's right there with the rocket, or a battery assault, I should say, chasing Loda down. And will get him with one last auto attack. And Ake's short of level 6, unable to contribute a call down right there. So they end up trading 1 for 1, I should say. So make it 2-1 favoring Alliance now. And we're going to have Bulldog locking in Fluff into the Sprout. Fluff had no way out, but we'll have Shadow walk up now. And should be all right.
They need more damage on. EGM actually gets dove by Weaver.
Ooh.
Oh, DC might actually die here. What level is the Gale?
S4's
it's a level 1 Gale.
Right there. Can he spot him? He will. Flame break. Enough to get that. Very, very, very close. And a nice kill for him, but unfortunately died in the return. Koikva and Way2 now might want to put some pressure on mid, and we'll see. There's the immediate glyph, not wanting to give up any more damage than necessary.
Yeah, I like the way Alliance uses glyph too. They use it as like a preventive measure. They don't use it like right when they're about to take a fight. They just don't want their tower to get low because they don't want to be put in a compromising position later. A lot of teams just save it really, really late when they're like, oh, let's TP in right now. But if the tower's not even low, then you don't even have to TP in the first place, and then you can resume farming or doing whatever you're doing. Venomancer has picked up Dust and Sentry, tired of TC's invisibility. I think if they had a different pick up top, though, like TC would have died so many times over and over and over again. So I think the Weaver pick is very nice versus a hero like Venomancer. The only problem is like he has been like kind of stifled in the early game, and Weaver's like somewhat of a snowbally hero. Bounty Hunter's still searching for that level 6. Bulba with his invis ring. They are looking through the jungle, looking for Admiral Bulldog. They did get a very high priority kill on Loda in middle, so that trade for them was very, very good. CM. Oh,
and Bulba spotted out. Sentry's down. He's lassoed out. Bulba will be flame broken back. Good flame break. They're going to secure the kill. Bulldog there just to come and contribute. One little auto attack. And we can see way 2 and Fluff. Fluff's still looking for his level 6. 11 minutes in, and Fluff still lacking level 6. That's having a big effect on this. And now Moonlight Shadow's there. Loda going to look to land himself an arrow. He spots way 2. Way 2. Oh, there it is. Way 2 probably in some trouble here. And there you go. Point blank, but it doesn't matter. Remember that that max level Starstorm? Yeah. That plus Nature's Wrath plus the arrow, all it took. It was 100-0, make it 5-2 on the kill board.
nice maneuvers by Fluff to evade that gank. The problem, I mean, Alliance was looking for Fluff on with that Sentry Ward, and they just found Clockwork. So Bulba just wrong place at the wrong time. Alliance doesn't even have Observer Wards up on the runes, so they didn't even know that EGM gets stunned out in the middle. Looks like he may take a fall here.
Yep. Quakefoot using Breathe Fire to finish that up. Bulldog has picked up his Midas, though, and he's going to start catching up. I would imagine he'll be the mech holder in this game as well. Going to come on out, try to prevent this tier 1 from dropping, and we'll be able to do so most likely.
Yeah, Koipa still half duration on his Corrosive Breath, though. Just like 1 or 2 more hits on it will bring it down into deny range. So
up, hook on the Bulldog right under the tier 1. That's going to be a very nice kill for them to tally. Throws down the Sprout. Bulba's trapped in. Here comes S4. He's got, oh no, his Blink was actually put on cooldown, running into the cogs. And the deny not happening. We'll be able to lasso Koipa back. He's got some help coming. And oh, they actually missed on the arrow. Bulba's going to drop the cogs to prevent Loda. Or actually not going to prevent him, just going to force him to take the long road around. S4 still in the air, does have a flame break. Nope, never mind, doesn't. Nope, there it is. He's going to see if he needed it, and he did end up needing it. There's a Gale onto Bulba. That might be enough to slow him down. However, Fluff's going to be there. There should be a track kill on EGM. Gets off the poison.
No track.
Yeah, Fluff missing an opportunity there for sure. Oh! Split the wickets just by a hair. It doesn't matter. Bulldog's there to secure the kill along with Ake. So they managed to kill off Fluff and Koikva, and they look to go ahead and push tier 1 mid off of it.
The Alliance supports are also not stingy at all. Look how many sentries they have. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentries up on the map right now. And a lot of supports will be like, well, isn't my like urn or something more important? Isn't my magic wand more important? But they know that they have 2 invis heroes. They even had an invisibility rune on the Clockwork. It is very, very important that they just don't let liquid heroes get away for free. And they rarely do.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. And that's something else Alliance does very well, and it's such a under the hood kind of mechanic of team management in professional games, but they just manage their gold well. I mean, it doesn't matter who's buying the wards and the sentry so long as they get up, and sometimes you'll see
there's smoke on bottom
and trying to make something happen. They're going to spot EGM again. EGM, oh, there's the Moonlight Shadow. Do they have detection? Arrow's going to connect on Koikva. Sentry is down for Alliance. They want to go, and they will. Bulba going to be the target. Got to blow him up quick. Doesn't have cogs up and won't be. Oh, did get a hook off. Won't matter though. Breathe Fire caught Loda, forcing the back. EGM's tracked out. Fluff going to try to pursue him out. Here comes the call down on the high ground. EGM. Oh, hang on. Koikva will be able to turn the corner. He's got way 2 right behind him and bottling himself back up to health. However, they're going to manage to pursue down EGM and get that kill. They will trade Fluff for it though. In the meantime, reinitiation on the TC and way 2 back near the side shop. Okay. Uses his wand, charges. Is it enough? TC is going to be able to Shikuchi through. Here comes Lotus. Should be. Oh, the arrow. Gonna hit nothing but a creep. Blink ahead. Flame break is enough. In the meantime, Way 2 gonna be tracked down as well. Way 2 ducked into the side shop while the flame break took care of the under tier 1 kill. Make that another big trade favoring Alliance. 4 for 2 overall. 11-7 now. And look at that creep wave with the treants. This tower in some very real danger.
Yeah, they're just not able to escape at all. Like Bulba gets lassoed. There's nothing he can really do about that except maybe stay further in the back. But he thought EGM was an easy kill. He was like caught out here. He was dropped a sentry. Look how many sentries there are again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just in the bottom part of the lane.
That's hilarious.
Bounty Hunter was like over here in this area, so they had sentries there. They had sentries over here for the Weaver too. So just again, so many sentries. They picked out Clockwork very, very fast. They're using their skills very well too. Like as soon as he lassos, it's like a double Starfall or an attempted arrow or a rocket barrage. They have a lot of bursts to go through it, even though it doesn't look like they do. And they're just picking out these heroes too that are like get a kill and then trying to run away, and they're just not letting Liquid escape with anything.
5,000 gold currently favoring Alliance. It's going to be 4,000 experience as well. The items beginning to come out quick, fast, and in a hurry. S4's already got up his force staff to go with his blink dagger. Still just on tier 1 boots, but no big deal there. Prophet has completed the mechanism. That's a huge problem in and of itself. EGM, despite dying as much as he has managed to pick up an urn. He's 0-4. That just goes to show you how much that tower gold does help the support players. Gyrocopter sitting on Tranks, but he's kind of been the ward carrier the entire time. And this is where things really get tricky for a lineup like Liquid's, where you have these slow developing carries in DK and Weaver. The support items come out, they tank up, and all of a sudden that damage you have that usually is enough to just get you through the early and the mid game just isn't enough to get a kill in any phase. The supports hang around, and as you pointed out, they chased EGM forever just to bring down a Venomancer.
Yep, at least it was a tracked Venomancer, and they are looking for blood. S4 and Aki smoked around through the opponent's jungle, unable to find anyone. Looks like Liquid is returning with a smoke of their own on 5. Loda is down there, and he's going to go on TZ. He's going to get owned, though.
He's got his ultimate. He's going to blow it immediately. Realize what's up. There's the track onto him, though, so Loda falling into the trap, took the bait. They're going to end up trading a tier 1 mid for it. They may be able to respond to this, though. The tier 1 bottom quite low. And there it goes. Let's see if they're going to TP. Nope, they're going to push through. At least a couple are. EGM and Bulldog not pulling back. We're going to see Bulba lassoed out by S4. He's got a haste, a blink, and a force staff. Couldn't get him onto the high ground. Call down will miss. No slow there, but Sprout's on the mark. Flame broken out of it. Treant summon, blocking out the little Clockwork Goblin. EGM's there. Cogs go down. Here comes Fluff, but he's day late, $1 short. As Alliance now has the chance to regroup and reform if they want to engage. EGM will be able to TP to safety. No stun there. Fluff, if he saw him, could have gotten off the shuriken, but able to make it away, so they trade Loader for Bulba.
Yeah, S4 just created an opportunity there, especially with his Observer Ward. They knew that Clockwork was going to try and go around and pick off whoever was trying to TP out. Koikfa actually in a lot of trouble here.
S4 eats the Dragon Tail in the mouth, and here comes Fluff, so, yep, no engagement.
Yeah, S4 were really good about just creating an opportunity. Most people were like, okay, well, we lost a hero. We're 4-on-5 right now. Let's just get a tower and be satisfied with it. Alliance looking for more. They see Clockwork by his lonesome with his Observer Ward TPing back, and he pings it out, asks his team to come, and very fast response along with that. I'm pretty sure he had a rune too, so very nice play by S4 too.
Yep, had a haste rune. And speaking of nice play by S4, definitely MVP of the game so far at 18 minutes. He's 6-0-3, been involved in 9 of Alliance's 12 kills. That's how you want your Batrider to be playing. You want him to be setting up all of these situations as you just
tough for 6.79 Batrider too. Like only really good Batriders can get away with it. And I honestly haven't seen any other teams use him well aside from Alliance rather, and Magnus, kind of the same story. I guess sometimes some of the Asian teams use him pretty well, but really just S4 is such a phenomenal player on those two.
It's not a coincidence, I don't think, that both of those heroes they set the entire tone for an engagement, and the way they're played can oftentimes influence the way the enemy the enemy's mental approach to how they have to set up to try and do anything to you, be it smoke, be it pushes 5, be it trying to set up a team fight, etc. And S4, again, we talked about it, or I mentioned it in passing during the initial run through the lineups as we were introducing the teams at the beginning. He's just an anchor. That's what he is for Alliance. They put him on these heroes like Mag, like Bat, like Puck, with his initiation potential and range, and just say, you know what, we trust you. Set something up, and we will come through for you based on your individual play and what you're able to create for us. And arguably one of the most high-value mids in a team context. Now we're going to have S4 flying across it. That was spotted by Fluff, who pings it out immediately. Heading to the high ground, trying to find something or someone, but so far it comes up wanting, and we'll just go ahead and back to the secret shop.
Yep, he knows that someone scouted him too. He even pinged that out. So they're very good at knowing how the opponent reacts to their movement. He's like, oh, well, they all backed off. The only way they could have seen it is with an Invis Fluff around. So he knows that it's time to back out, not overcommitting to. And TC gets nailed by an arrow.
Yes, and the sentry's down. That's from Liquid, though. So there we go. Nice Dragon Tail and S4 as he tried to blink in. That's a game changer. Off goes the Poison Nova Bulldogs there, but they're going to have to pull back. Call down's enough to secure their retreat. Huge play from Koikfa. That blink in from S4 disjointed by the drag. Oh, wow. Ooh. Koikfa almost got pegged with that, and they would have engaged off of that for sure. Instead, Liquid buys themselves time to retreat. EGM got off the Poison Nova, runs up and finishes his Arc Boots. And let's see if they want to actually take a fight here. Now that they know that clock's there, Bulba's going to go ahead and phase ahead. He's going to look for a hook and come up a little bit wide.
Yeah, that was just a way too predictable of a blink lasso from Batrider. It would have been pretty slick if he like flame break behind him, so it pushes the DK away, because DK can't be that close himself, or he'll just get lassoed, and Weaver can't stop that. So if he like flame breaks right behind the Weaver, pushes him towards him, and then lassos, then he isn't in range for his stun. So S4 just got a little bit greedy there, just thinking the opponent wouldn't react in time. But that was a very, very quick stun by Dragonite. It was daytime. Pretty sure he had it queued up before he blinked, because it was like almost instantaneous.
Yeah, it was really, really well done and completely changed that fight. That's the kind of plays Liquid needs right now. Koikva will dodge yet another arrow. S4, though, going to chase after him. Used his blink at his force staff already. And Koikva drug into the river, into the call down. Beautifully played, and Loda leaps down just to add some style points to the mix. With him down, they could think about a Roshan here. The tier 1 is missing, and Liquid really struggling to have the damage output they need. They already spent Lasso, but with Ake there, level 8, and the cooldown on call down so low, doesn't look like that's going to be the plan, though. Instead, just going to continue to rotate.
Yeah, again, S4 just finding opportunities for them right there. They don't even have they just have a ward that they recently placed over here. But yeah, Dragonite, he knows the limitations of the hero too, using his force staff to get to him and then lassoing him down the cliff. Just very precise play by S4.
And Loda finding even more farm. He's already got his Yash up. He's actually only a few hundred gold away from a full-out Manta style at 22 minutes. 22 minutes in, we can see the gold. I mean, at the very least, Liquid isn't giving up a whole lot more than they had already. I mean, it's gone up a smidgen, but still hovering between 5,000 and 6,000, which is not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination. The experience at plus 4,000 in favor of Alliance, the exact same thing. So make no mistake, Liquid is in this, especially with Fluff and stuff, level 10.5, give or take. If he gets level 2 track and they could take a couple of fights.
S4 is surrounded. If he pushes up, he knows something's up, though.
He's got his force staff if he needs it. Doesn't look like he's that worried about it, though.
Regeneration.
But with Fluff about to have level 2 track, if they could take a couple of engagements off of that, they could cut down on this lead enough to get them right back into things.
TC needs his BKB. Oh, actually, it looks like he actually going does. Oh no, he has his BKB right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had enough for it. Down here, we're gonna have Fluff lassoed out, pulled onto the high ground, and the call down's gonna be there. There's gonna be a hook onto EGM. In the meantime, they managed to kill off Fluff. They'll trade EGM for him, but the poison Nova did go off. Way 2's gonna have the TP away. Bulba, Moonlight Shadows there, and the Sprout. This is a big win for Alliance. Now with Bulba down, he's gone for 42 seconds. They're going to have the option to try to push top, to try to push mid, or to try to just sit back and farm up. Looks like Loda is going to farm. He has completed his Manta style.
Loda also uses Moonlight Shadow like very, very often, which you definitely should. It's a pretty short cooldown spell, and a lot of teams just use it like for a perfect moment, but you just use it often, make the opponents always buy sentries, or just always wonder where you were. They're like, oh man, is he going to initiate on us with a just straight up Moonlight Shadow, and it really like messes with your head. Same with like Batrider. It's like, oh well, am I really going to get dragged up this cliff right now? Or like, if Koiko was farming Anxious, he's like, well, do they have a ward over here? I might get pulled down and die again. He has to like really think twice about wherever they move around the map. And Liquid has to live with a lot of fear. They have BKBs, but that's not going to save them from a Blink Lasso initiate. You really need a Lincoln's, and even if you get a Lincoln's, Nature's Prophet can just cast Wrath of Nature, and then boom, it's popped, and then just Blink Lasso, and they're kind of screwed. So it's Liquid's in a very, very tough position right now. They're like kind of scared to go all around the map. Meanwhile, they're just like, oh, well, we'll just farm this triple Incan stack with our support Gyrocopter. I'm surprised he doesn't have one level of homing missile. That is typically the Gyrocopter build that I see, but Nature's Prophet doing very well. Look at his items. Phase, Force Staff for the Clockwork, Mech for the team fight, Ultimate Orb into a Sheep pretty soon, 24 minutes in. Very well played by him.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. You look at Alliance, it's not just him. I mean, Mirana, one would imagine after a Manta, the next logical pickup against this team would probably be something like a Deso. Survivability is not really the big issue Alliance is having, just being able to burst down heroes, especially the Invis heroes that are going to have a little easier time slipping away. So picking up a Deso, he's already got enough gold roughly for one Mithril Hammer if he wants to go that direction, or if he wants a BKB, he could afford a Mithril Hammer for that as well. And already with the Manta style up, the Phase, the Midas, he's just going to continue to get more and more out of control. Gyrocopter, I mean, he's got a bracer, that's all he needs. He's basically done nothing but buy wards all game and free up the gold for EGM. EGM picked up a Helm of Iron Will as well as his urn, so he's actually feeling overall, okay-ish tanky for a Venomancer. Veno naturally is just going to feel pretty squishy. And 0-5 and 11 for him indicates that. But Batrider, I mean, he's got 1,600 gold aside from that, depending on what he wants to build. Just all of the items coming out very quickly. And you compare that to what's going on with Liquid. They're just feeling anemic. Koikva only with a BKB and his treads up. Weaver, nothing but a BKB treads. Aquila. And even poor Clockworks, still looking for his BKB, only has the Ogre Club plus 1,100 gold, and Crystal Maiden has done nothing but ward up, roughly even with Gyro in terms of farm. Net worth kind of bears that out. 3 of the top 4 in terms of pure net worth, all belonging to Alliance.
It's really rough for a Liquid right now because they're all forced to build BKBs because they just have so much magic damage, and Venom is just going Veil of Discord too, and that doesn't help them farm at all. If Alliance just wants to play passively and just split push with Mirana, split push with Nature's Prophet, then Liquid is just going to keep falling further and further behind in gold. But if they take team fights, they'll probably not even win it even with BKBs because of the Blink Batrider initiate. So they're just in a tough pickle right now. I think they desperately need a hood too, just because the heroes without BKB are just going to get absolutely decimated by Call Down, by Firefly, by Venomancer Ultimate, Nature's Prophet's Ultimate too. So they're just going to fall like flies if they don't get their BKBs up soon. It looks like Clockwork's working on one next, and Bounty Hunter is very, very far away from his.
Yeah, it's typical stuff. We seem to have a keyboard issue currently for Team Liquid right now, so we'll be looking to get them back in as quickly as we possibly can. Want to thank everyone for being a part of the broadcast and remind you that this is a triple header Thursday, so we've got yet another series coming up following the conclusion of this one. It'll be an in-house showdown, in-house grudge match, and EG taking on Alliance. And EG, kind of an up-and-down team, hit and miss, shows us flashes of brilliance from time to time, and everyone wondering how they're going to adapt as Fear and company not really that happy with their performance since they reformed. And calls for changes certainly have been there. We'll look to see how they match up against Alliance, who will be playing back-to-back series, win, lose, or draw. Liquid at least doing better this game than they did in Game 1. Game 1, they just flat-out got ran over. I do feel like Liquid, in Game 1, they were just not very organized. It was just kind of a fire drill all over the map. This time around, I feel like they do have a much more clear game plan, moment to moment, and I feel like they have a much better idea of what they want to do. Playing from behind certainly complicates that. But you can see how this lineup can and will come into its own. I mean, if it goes ultra late, you're going to be talking about a Nature's Prophet who might try to transition into right-click damage, which is not going to be that great when he's already invested so much money into utility items. Scythe of Ice will be coming out very soon, as you had mentioned. But a late-game Dragon Knight, if he's able to catch up, and a late-game Weaver, if he's able to catch up, they're just going to maul a late-game Mirana.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to get to that point, though. They're all forced to, like, play passively, defensively, and they can't really, like, split pushing or split up and farm at all. Oh, yeah. They'll just get picked off by Batrider and Nature's Prophet TPing in. So they just can't farm anywhere, which is a very, very big problem. The gold lead, like, hasn't really dipped in favor of Liquid at any point, maybe the 12-minute mark engagement. But other than that, it's just constantly going in favor of Alliance, and I don't really see that changing for the next 10, 15 minutes or so. Alliance can also set up for Roshan, and Liquid, they don't really have the greatest anti-Roshan lineup too. Like Batrider with his lasso is just ridiculous. And there was a reason why he was the strongest hero in 6.7. He is still a strong hero.
Very much agree with you. Not saying it's gonna happen. Just trying to balance things out with a little positivity. Sometimes get some criticism for that. So it sounds hopeless. You're always so hopeless. Late game, if Liquid can get there, they'll be in much better shape. Load is going to be tracked. We're going to see a lasso on the TC. Arrow actually going to be off the mark. A little bit of a mispull there, and now they're going to be forced back. The Leap going to be able to get them out of there very, very quickly. While this has been going on, though, Ake sucking up a lot of gold and a lot of experience off of this ancient camp.
Clockwork gets a pick off on Veno. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we're like being like hopeless. It's just more being realistic, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But Liquid trying to get back in the game. They can with track gold though.
Okay, way too. Way too just ulted right ultimate here. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Maybe he was trying to. I don't even know what he's trying to do. Oh, they find Fluff. Do they have a dust? They have a sentry. And misses a sprout. That was a very hard sprout to hit though.
Yeah. Anyway, continue, my friend.
I forget what I was talking about.
Hopelessness and realism. Just being realistic about Liquid's chances here in this match.
I don't want to lie to the viewers and be like, oh yeah, they have a really good chance at winning this game.
Yeah, I agree. The gold graph tends to agree with us as well. 7,500 the advantage for Alliance. Just 25 minutes in. And the experience right in that general range, too. But the kill score at least makes it look a little bit close. TC does have his BKB up, so he'll be looking to hopefully be a much bigger factor. They might try to make something happen with Fluff here. He is looping behind the Tier 1, and Liquid sitting the other 4 up top. Let's see if they can track out S4. Fluff trying to get an eye on the big bad bat. And is he going to do it? Yep, he's back on the ground. There's EGM, though. Now he's going to throw the shuriken after the track, and we're going to hear them begin pushing as Koikfa blows his level 2 Elder Dragon form. This tower should end up melting. They are going to use the glyph, so we'll see how dedicated
they want to defend.
Yeah, looks like in mid they just
not TPing.
Yeah, they just want Prophet to maybe push out here.
Top tower has fallen.
Yeah, with S4 tracked up like that and a ward behind the tower, Liquid's in a very good position to take that fight and not be caught out by surprise. Admiral Bulldog just waiting for his sheep stick, still pretty close on that. Marana, let's see what item she's working on next. Still no clue. 2,300 gold in the bank. I don't believe anything is in the stash right now. It could just very well be a Chrysalis. I think they need... Oh, there's a engaged.
And they're going to go ahead and lasso out Way2. Way2 pulled back. Poison Nova goes off. Way2 will be blown up. TC's popped his BKB, and Ake will be stunned. There's Bulba coming in. Ake in trouble. Will be able to survive a little bit longer. Moonlight Shadow still causing problems. Call down is going to whiff on everyone. Bulba chases out 3 at a time. EGM is tracked out. Can they clean him up? They will. S4 is there, but Loda re-engages. There's that max level Starfall. Koikfa taken out with the... Oh, Bulba makes it back to the high ground. Koikfa was taken out with a flame break from S4, and they're not done. Bulldog being pursued out by a very angry and sputtering Clockwork Goblin. Drops the cogs. Don't think it's going to do anything to save him. Loda has him cornered, and that's a double kill going to S4. And is it just me, or does it seem like every time they take a team fight win like this, they always just have creeps in the perfect position? As we can see them pushing. If they want to push, don't know that they will, but they could. They have the option.
Well, that's the thing about Admiral Bulldog's Nature's Prophet. He's just very good at split pushing out all the lanes, so that when Liquid does, if Alliance does win a fight, they get way more out of it than normal teams do. And Koikfa actually like panicked there. He like was killing this tracked Venomancer. He was at like sub 100 HP, I want to say, and then he like stunned him off to finish him for the kill. And then Loda just like leaps into his he's like, "What's up? You don't have any stuns," and just goes to town on them. So
yeah,
and that was like, I mean, it wasn't like a huge deal in that fight, but still, like Liquid's like scrambling for kills right now, and they did get a couple track kills in that fight, but they still traded not too well.
Fluff finds himself the haste rune. He could loop through the jungle, perhaps take a look at Bulldog. Bulldog now, though, with Force Staff and Scythe of Ice, is actually doing a fair amount of damage. His right click is around the range of 175, and he certainly has some survivability, especially when you factor in Sprout TP. Ake's right there with him. He's dropping down sentries. Oh, this could get bad if Fluff comes too far forward. Nope, going to end up going a little bit too far.
I'm surprised they haven't picked up a gem yet.
Yep. Just saw him drop that ward, and I'm sure they'll go counter ward that in a minute. But all right, Merlini, let's play what if. What if you were in Liquid's captain's chair and you had to win this? So all of a sudden it's the international, and this is game 5. What is your go-to surefire game plan to try and get things back on track?
Kill Nature's Prophet so he stops split pushing. That's probably the biggest priority for them right now. The other members aren't very important to kill. If you kill Aki, whatever, he's a support Jarkov. If you kill Venomancer, whatever, he's going to revive in like 30 seconds anyway. So they have to kill Nature's Prophet. They haven't been doing a good job of doing that. They've only killed him once thus far, and he is just out of control. And if they don't keep him down, then he's just going to constantly split push other towers, and Liquid, even if they win an engagement, aren't going to be able to get a tower off of it. And they also need to be very good at defending against these S4 ganks.
Koikfa lasted back, couldn't get him into the high ground, so a bit of a missed opportunity there for Alliance. Now, this is the problem you run into whenever you get both the Tier 1 top and mid down. You can start doing this. You can start pressuring both lanes at the same time and just forcing Liquid to keep 5 running from tower to tower while you farm their own jungle. That's exactly what they're doing. And Liquid can't just send 1 or 2 to try and defend here, because if they do, they'll get jumped. So you have 5 that are constantly running around doing nothing but playing tower defense. While, or if you leave TC like we see right now, if they decide to engage.
Who doesn't love playing TDs?
Exactly. Grid defense, by the way, very, very good game. They've got an announcer for that now, I think. I need to get that.
Oh yeah, I got that as a drop.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to play more Dota, man.
I do. I have been playing more anyway. I just tend to get Bloodseeker items, and I don't like that hero. I actually got the Bloodseeker.
Better than Omni Knight items.
Hey, I like them. Omni's fun. There's a hook on the EGM.
Yep. Oh.
There's going to be a nice track kill. Now will they try to reinitiate? Nope, never mind. That was just Ake there. But Alliance kind of backing off the pressure a little bit, and I'm sure Liquid's enjoying having a little room to breathe for once.
Yeah, it is. It must be nice for them. They need to like slightly keep up the pressure, or just do Roshan. Like any of those things would be nice. Oh, it looks like they're going for a Roshan.
And with the DD on Loda, should be a rather quick Roshan at that. They've got Bulldog's Trance to tank it. Rosh already down to half health. Loda just picked up his Eagle song, so Butterfly will end up being the choice. And I mean, when you look at Liquid's actually done a fair job of, I mean, obviously they're not winning the fights they wish they could win, but in between these fights they're losing, they're actually trading fairly even with Alliance. When you look at the goal graph, there are these big jump ups from the fights that are just going Alliance's way. But other than that, they are hanging around. I mean, and that's the thing. Sometimes in a situation like this, you just got to say, let's just hang around and see what happens.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just not completely falling apart like they did their first game. So that's a good effort by them.
Deso up on TC, and that'll certainly help his damage output. He's hitting for 200 plus damage now, and the armor reduction is something that's going to help. Just what they're going to need is one or two big plays. They just need one big play from Koikva, like we saw in that fight at top. They weren't able to turn that into a win. They were able to stall it, though. Just being able to read S4 and to Dragon Tail him on the mark and disjoint him. They can get something like that. I feel like they do have the firepower to take a fight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just try and fight.
Koikva completes his Assault Cuirass. That's certainly going to help the team. Trying to figure out, I mean, Bulldog's already got his Scythe of Ice up. I guess maybe buybacks is the issue. Loda doesn't have any. Only Prophet and Gyro at this point have buyback. And one would imagine they'll want to make use of this Aegis before long. Dust is going to be off the mark as Fluff cuts south. No gem, as you had mentioned. That's a little surprising still.
Yeah, it's very surprising to me that they still have not picked up one in. I mean, Fluff has just been constantly just tracking them down and scouting out where they've been going, or Necro 3 even. They could have gotten a Necro 3 on Admiral Bulldog instead of a Sheep, but they're just looking for an opportunity to present themselves. Like if Liquid just farms one out way too far, they'll just TP in when they just Prophet Sheep them, get a kill, and then push from that. So they're not under any pressure right now. They're still farming very, very well. They have the double Midas advantage too, and they have the Aegis advantage right now, so Liquid can't really force the issue at a T2. So Alliance feeling very, very comfortable.
Yep, Alliance with Loda transitioning fairly well to this carry Marana. Got up the Midas soon enough. Wasn't busting out an 18-minute Midas. Looking at you, Light of Heaven. And on the back of a Butterfly now, it's going to be tough for them to bring her down. It was tough to begin with. Looks like they're ready to go ahead and start pushing, moving as 5 up the top, or up to mid, I should say. And down goes the tower, and looks like they might just push through.
Yep, I guess they don't really need to wait for anything else. They just hit with the Butterfly. They got the Sheep a little while ago. Liquid with a Desolator, but that's about it.
Oh, Koikva. Lassoed out, BKB up on the bat. Koikva in trouble. Going to pop his own BKB. Will he be able to make it away? It's going to be close. Nope, going to be cleaned up. One right click, all it took. S4 now trying to get out of the fight. In the meantime, Liquid is counter-punching, but the Poison Nova went off doing good damage. TC will time-lapse it. There's a Scythe used on him, but a dual Sprout secures one more kill. TC dusted out. There's the homing missile that will connect on Bulba. Buyback from Bounty. He wants to come back into this fight. Loda's still in pretty good shape. The Aegis will be reclaimed in 3 minutes. And looks like they're going to go ahead and back now. Didn't even get the tier 3, so cost them a buyback, but all in all,
good hold by Liquid.
Yeah, not a bad defense whatsoever.
Yeah, Koikva, he can't really do anything about getting lassoed. Somebody's going to get lassoed, and I guess Koikva is the most tankiest of the bunch, so pretty good by him. I would much rather him get lassoed than Weaver, because Weaver still outputs a lot of damage. They need him to be able to right-click down, and the Batrider did actually end up falling. I'm surprised he doesn't have a Ghost Scepter yet. He's probably saving it for BOTs, so they can keep up the split push pressure. Still, if they just got a gem and just killed Fluff, and then just took down all their vision, they could just starve Liquid, but it looks like they're just trying to brute force up their T3 with the Aegis. I expect them to make another push before the Aegis expires. Looks like it is about 2 minutes time. So if they want to do that, it's going to have to be pretty darn soon. Dragon Knight already with AC too, so he's doing pretty well in terms of items.
If I'm in Alliance's shoes, I mean, there's no way for them to know for sure if Liquid has buyback. But they have to know the 3 of their heroes, too. The 3 that matters. I mean, if you take a look at Loda, Loda may be about ready to trade in his phase boots for boots of travel. And that would make a ton of sense.
Just risky, though. If they push right now and they use all their buybacks, they have a chance of just like completely throwing away their gold advantage. But if they just buy one big item, they'll likely win the fight, and they won't throw away the gold advantage to something useless.
Yep.
Not that buybacks are useless, but
Yep. It's all right, S4. Sometimes you got to roll the dice. That time, got a bounty hunter illusion. It happens.
yes, it does.
Bulldog continuing to add to his inventory. Picked up a BKB and has 2,300 gold aside from it. And the hook. Ooh, Bulldog able to get out of range just in time. I think that would have missed anyway. But in the meantime, Prophet manages to find himself a kill on a Crystal Maiden at bottom. So not
Don't know
good
what
for
she's
them.
doing out there.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. 60 seconds till the Aegis is reclaimed. Doesn't look like Loda and company will be able to get much out of it.
Maybe a T2.
Last room, well, it's hard to actually kind of hard to believe there's still 2 outer tier towers remaining for Liquid. They've felt like they've been playing from behind all game, and really they have. I mean, you look at the gold graph, literally all game, except for about 3-4 minutes. And oh, hang on. Fluff going to be lassoed and utterly exploded by Ake. So down he goes. Ake is level 13, so he has level 2 call down. Aegis reclaimed in 30 seconds. With bounty down for 60 seconds, he doesn't have buyback either. He spent it quite some time ago defending that tier 3 mid. So it's going to be a 4-on-5 as they decide to go ahead and push.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him too. I don't even think he needed a buyback there. Arrow will not connect on wave 2, but this tower is just getting manhandled. They will pop the glyph right now. Still 30 seconds on the revive though. Are they going to make a move?
Very definition of getting zerged here. Down to half health and just trying to find a way in. This really makes things hard on Bull. Before Staff's in, looking for a hook. We'll find it. God, S4, there's Moonlight Shadow. S4 going to be able to force Staff away. Bulldog running away as well. And Koikva pushing back out. There's going to be the Poison Nova. Koikva eating a lot of damage. Nature's Wrath gets a kill. Bulba might end up dead, and will. Trying to make it back. TC's next on the list, and Koikva not going to last any longer. There's a buyback from Bulba, but he stands against 5. Don't think he's going to have what they need. That's going to be 1 set of racks, likely at least 2. Bounty's back up, but not the best at defending the tier 3s. And arrow shot. Bulbous sitting in. Yep, he's just spamming rockets at this point. Knows he can't even come out of the well without ending up dead. So 1 set of racks, 2 set of racks. Might see a GG shortly.
Yeah, definitely. So Alliance just waited until the BKBs were up and then just absolutely destroyed them. And without BKBs, they really don't stand a chance against all this magic damage.
Looks like they're just going to throne it. Not even going to rotate. 26 and 30 seconds, respectively, for Koikva and TC's respawn. And the tier 4s, at least 1 will drop here. Don't think they're going to mind fighting when they do respawn, though. They have a lasso up on S4. And down goes 1. Loda running back and buying a Reaver. He's actually going to sell that off and get a Rapier, because, you know, that's what you do. So, congratulations, viewers. Hey, I like it when I see Rapiers come out like this in a game that's basically over. And so is Bulldog. And we're going to have the lasso back. Koikva drawing back. And look at that damage output. Just blowing up Koikva. BKB's up everywhere. TC having the time lapse out. Way too blown up. TC blown up. Rapier's a good item. That's what they tell me on Reddit anyway. And
GG.
they're going to take the wins.
Not even going to FF in time before the drone dies.
Solid win. Oh. Solid win there.
Solid win for there.
I really like.
Alliance.
I think teams should do that more often. And well, I probably shouldn't say that, because as soon as I open my big mouth, there's going to be a team who goes and buys a GG Rapier at the end and ends up feeding it and ends up losing because of it. But I think it's cool that the viewers get prizes when Rapiers are bought. It makes it fun when teams like Alliance run and grab a couple just to make sure some more rares that could be lost on Dota Lounge are given out.
Got a lot of those rares.
32-17. Alliance rolls 2-0 over Team Liquid and improves their D2L West standing to 4-0. At this point, they've taken a win over Fnatic as well. Rest of their schedule, they're going to be the very heavy favorites, with 1 major test standing before them next week against Na'Vi. Na'Vi also undefeated with their win today. And we can see the storyline already developing. Liquid's debut, not what they had in mind, as they fall in they fall 2-0 in a series that lasted a little less than an hour in collective time. Once again, I want to thank everyone for being a part of the broadcast here on Season 4 of the D2L. Our third series is going to be coming up next. That'll be EG versus Alliance, who will be back in action. We'll take a look and everything else as we move forward. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. Thanks again, guys, for being a part of the show. The other voice you're hearing on the other end of the mic, that's Ben Merlini Wu. We can get our Twitters right now. Boom, there it is. Conrad on top of it as always. Merlini, aside from your Twitter, my friend, let them know where they can find more about you. I'm sure hearing you break down the insight and analysis, a lot of folks out there would love to tap into that knowledge for themselves.
Tap into it. Anyways, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, all the same, /Merlini, the same as my Twitter.
There you go. Find me at AC, at AYESEE, and ACTV everywhere. It's Twitch, and YouTube, and Facebook. You can look me up there. All right, guys. Second series is in the books. Let's see. Yeah, it's 1:41, so about another 80 minutes until our last series of the evening will get going again. An in-house grudge match, Alliance taking on Evil Geniuses. Hope you'll stick around for that. Conrad, what other tournaments are on right now? Okay, so no Dream League was gonna recommend you guys head over there. Go play a game of Dota. Go grind for battle points so you can get rares and bet them on Dota Lounge and lose them, because that's what happens. I'm so glad. Hang on. EG on what, Dream League? All right, EG Navi coming up on Dream League. Go watch that right now, guys. And hopefully you guys will win rares by watching through Twitch. I think they've got it. Anyway, myself, Ben, and Conrad, of course, our producer, will be back in 80 minutes. See you then here on the HyperX D2L.